Hello, everybody. Neyman, hello, everybody. Like so. Okay, now for something completely different. Hip-hop is very much about crowd participation, so we're going to come right into the crowd and get you to clap and shout and spin on your heads. Just a couple of basics. I want to actually try and blend the two sessions into one by not first doing a show. My broer just stay vasgemaak hier, jong. I want to show you the very first dance move I learned. This is how it looks, and this was in 1982. Yeah, I'm 48 years old, by the way. Yeah, yeah. You should learn to break dance. All right, so this is what it looks like, right? Yeah, and when it's done, this is the flow that you get from it, right? Lekker, na? But when I first learned it, you know, when your mind and your body don't normally work together sometimes. So you like go, start there and then your shoulder comes up and you have to like keep at it, right? And so I'm showing you this move because it's thanks to this that I understand that everything is made up of steps. It is because of understanding these steps that I was able to survive by actually leaving my teaching job. I'm a qualified school teacher before I grew my hair like this, right? And to actually make a living just on my creative ability. And there's something I want to ask you quickly to do is just look around the room and tell me, just anyone, one thing that you can see that an artist created. Anyone? You can put your hand up. It'll be like class. Nothing? The sister. Earrings. Kwai. Anyone else? Now what just happened right there is the blindness that society has been taught over generations, including our current government. When I do this at schools, 1,000, 2,000 kids, they always say that sign over there or the no smoking sign, because it looks like it's drawn, right? But one kid will automatically at some point say, the entire building, an architect designed. And suddenly we bring into focus everything. The earrings, the ring, the spectacle design, the clothing you're wearing, even your onderbroekie. Alles, the chair you're sitting on. Somehow, when you tell your parents, now if you think about that, just look at everything around you, there's potential to make a living from your artistic ability. But when you tell your parents, I want to be an artist, they're like, oh, hell no. Yeah? And then the question arises, why has someone taught Africans who are extremely creative to work for instead of create their own? That really bothered me when I first learned this. So when I learned this move, I was like, every street corner, everyone put a keppie down and men throw me money and I'd be like, Kiki, my art is worth something. Just ask that auntie that gave me 2 cents. But it's the power of that made me do what I do, is understanding that I can't stay in a teaching post where they tell me that I have to teach a kid that in 1652, Jan van Riebeeck discovered the Cape. This was 24 years ago. So my fees fell a long time ago. And at the same time, I asked the kids in my class if they would do what I was about to do. And out of a class of 40 young people who were in grade 5, 2 said they would follow the example and I was saddened by that young people would rather get a job that they hate than follow their heart. Yeah? And we really have to ask that about ourselves as Africans. What do we set as an example of happiness? Is it money? Because whenever someone says, I started 50 companies, oh my God. And then someone said, I followed my heart and I do what I'm passionate about. Oh yeah, he's broke. State of mind, right? Peace and passion and joy isn't important. Money. Because what we do is we show our kids by our actions more than our words what is truth. Yeah? So the 2 young men on the stage with me, B-Boy Benny, is 5-time South African champion breakdancer. He lives out in Kales River. They said the sound checks at 7. Dus ons hier, al pos 5, hulle gaat optel.
Is al amper aand al.
As aand, my bro. And the young man on my left-hand side, he's from Lavendale. He's been with me for the last 10 years. And he works for our organization, Heal the Wood, at the moment. When he finished his studies, he wanted to be an architect. But teachers at his school didn't explain what subjects are necessary to do that. And it was by that time too late for him to apply. And he then used the skill or the dance ability to create an income for himself. So art is extremely powerful, but we just don't see it. Because apparently we can't count very well also. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So hip-hop has taught me, a lot of people when you hear hip-hop, they think of these Owens that are on TV. Nah? I don't know who the hell they are, but they're definitely not hip-hop culture. Hip-hop culture taught me to love who I am and love the fact that I am from here. I want to quickly do another test. All the Africans, raise your hand. Die ander mense, waar kom julle vandaan? Okay, let me. At schools, a lot of the kids are like the kids who are classified so-called colored. They're like, You know, this looks very good. I'm glad to see that there's so many Africans. And I found out through my studies that everyone on the planet actually come from? Yeah, I asked this question at a school in Sweden. They had a problem over there with racism, and they call me from Sweden to fly there to come and speak about racism. Our own government is like, don't talk about that. And there's 2 kids from Uganda, and I asked the same question. I said, all the Africans, and the 2 kids from Uganda were like, oh man. And then I explained the same thing, and everybody came from Africa, and so all human beings can be traced back to Africa. And so we all are African. And so I asked all the Africans, raise your hands, and then all these like blonde-haired, blue-eyed Owens put their hand up. And the 2 Ugandans were like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I added to that, just don't take our land, though. So anyway, I want to show you the power of the real hip-hop. So in celebration of hip-hop, we'd like to show you a combination of, when I started out, we didn't have access to any instrumentation, and we had to create the beat ourselves. And if you're from Africa and you're gifted with a lekker paar lippe, then you can make the beat yourself. I'm only kidding, the Owens are from Europe also good at this.
Come on. Clap, 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 come on. Clap, 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 come on. Klap je lachen met het met de ho. Week nou samen gemeenskap te bou. Ons hoef van hy eerstes laat ons onhou. Afrika herbou, voel die bloesman in jou. Klap je lachen met het met de ho. Week nou samen gemeenskap te bou. Ons hoef van die eerstes laat ons onhou. Afrika herbou, voel die bloesman in jou. Is ja.
Ja? Hij was unplugged. Waar gaat ik gauw die mic uitskut? So that's how we got paid. Sorry, Owens. That's how we got paid back in the day, just to like do gigs with and then we raised that money and saved up for recordings and everything else that went with it. Since back then, I've released with Black Noise 11 CDs on my own. I've released 9 albums. Yeah. And so a friend of mine told me, you know, my bro, a CD isn't like vegetables. Don't go off, my bro. You can always sell that CD. And so I'm not marketing what I do, but I'm just saying, you know. So this song, I'd like the audience to shout the words hip hop and help us celebrate. Are you ready? Nah, man.
They don't look ready.
Are you sure you're ready? Yeah. Much better. So the full chorus goes, energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real Koi. But you delay here and there, but now with meaning on the Cape Flats, they say you must beduie. How do you translate? You must throw your hands when you say the word hip hop. Let's try that. I'm going to count 3 and let's see you get involved there. 1, 2, 3. Liquor. Yeah, okay. DJ? Okay, wacht. Energy cannot be destroyed. Wacht. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. As een paar mensen een beetje voorbarig. Okay, cool. You can play it now, brother. Thank you. Can you pick it up on stage a bit louder? Clap your hands. Come on, everybody, get involved. Here we go.
Hands. Come on.
Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Can't get high in ways artificially. Do what's considered impossible humanly. Godly only momentarily. Pure energies of regionality. 360 degrees to 720. Keep rotating as long as my body left me. B-boy circle, DJ turntable. MC ciphers like ancient fable. Capoeiristas clap in unison. Rotation roots, them are African. Encoded in a spiral DNA helix. Rotational highs more than just tricks. Fixing the helix of a living cell. Rigging that feeling each time we fell. B-boys, bladers, both across extreme. Beam stage found with fire. Scream. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Everybody joining, just clap your hands, everybody. And everybody just clap your hands. Just clap your hands, everybody. And everybody just clap your hands. Let me see you just throw your hands in the air and wave it like you just don't care. If you really want to get involved in the show, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Us yeah.
Us yeah. Us-oo. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. In this ancient circle, the truth we seek. Drawn close to peak, give energy to the weak. Deep participation in ancient rituals. Dreams turn reality to virtual. Physical to spiritual, energy ancestral. Calling the gods to open a porthole. Losing control, becoming pure soul. Parts from a whole, channeling the goal. Behold, in this circle we felt God's greatness. Becoming gods, yes, light breaks the darkness. Lost in flames, I birth from which heaven. Warmth and safety, reassure me I'm free. Feel like an eternity, ancient familiarity. My soul remembers with detailed clarity. Can it be when you've been there before? In these ancient circle, my soul now soars. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Clap your hands for the real. Energy cannot be destroyed, it won't stop. Welcome to the real.
Oh, it's funny how those ones so close.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Alright. Alles kleine. Yeah, you know, sometimes the energy pushes you so that you want to jump in and tomorrow, my bro. Yeah. and you know the thing when I said earlier, all the Africans, raise your hands. It's hip-hop that taught me to love who I am as an African. Because although people say it comes from America, you gotta name one thing that comes from America. Actually. If you look at the way we stand in a circle and clap our hands and go into a dance that almost feels like we're in a trance, what does that look like? They look exactly like our ancestors, the Bushmen, doing the cyclic, hey, hey, cyclic, yeah, rotation. And when our ancestors went into trance and wrote about what they saw on rock, they were like, oh my goodness, this is rock art. The descendants of that same Bushman write on corporate buildings all over the Cape Flats. Suddenly it's not art. Those Bushmen are vandals. And we speak sometimes in strange flows where it almost seems impossible that those words fit together within the rhythm. And they call it ciphering or freestyling. And these are all what our ancestors did, right? But we tend to forget, like here in South Africa, there are two words that we use almost throughout the whole country that when we speak to each other, especially in the Cape Flats, we say means, and means. Did you know that in Khoi Khoi Govap, in Nama, means yes, and means no. Julle sal julle liewe Boesman al, maar julle wil nie Boesman wees. Huh? In the language isiXhosa, the clicks in isiXhosa come from the Bushmen. In the language of Afrikaans, which is a Portuguese style created here in Cape Town and stolen by the Boers and popularized in the Bible and in Afrikaans woordeboek, standaarde woordeboek. There are words that slip through. So if it's trying Busman weg te hou, especially the sisters and the brothers, hulle GHD, hulle kroeshare. Maar let die weer net uitstiek. Let they just be a bit misty in Cape Town, dat kok kroes altyd terug. Kinky cannot be straightened away. Often people say black like me, maar ek wil 'n black like who? Jou hare is... Anyway, so I've learned this next song we're about to do is a song about the flavor in Cape Town and the origin of this language, which has been persecuted thanks to the 76 uprising. Unfortunately, it wasn't against the language, but against the people enforcing the language. And so on the Cape Flats, we were still speaking this language. The language had all the masalatjies and the kombuis flavor in it. Ou duidelik don't mean what they duidelik mean. Ou minute don't mean what they minute mean. Yeah? That's difficult to explain if you don't understand. But anyway, so on the Cape Flat, this is a Creole language created in Cape Town. And still, young people in Lavendale and Kales River are forced to learn a foreign way of speaking this language in our schools. No books are written in the pidgin version that our ancestors created. And they are still undergoing the fight to achieve their 76 so that their stories can be told in their way and so that they can actually finish school. And so 1652, Jan van Riebeeck accidentally came back after being corrupt from the east and met two men called Jansen and Pruitt in Cape Town who had stranded here for a year. And he stole the idea and told the people in Holland that he would like to start a fort, a refreshment station. My broer, as a moerse refreshment station is a vandag gebra. Gold, diamonds, platinum, ja, refresh. Anyway, so I left teaching because I didn't want to share this. And so I tried to apply my skills I learned in hip-hop to get young people to be active citizens, but also people who know what they're talking about. Because that's the problem with South Africa. People vote according to race, according to tribe, according to political organization, and don't care what the policies are of the people they're putting into power. So it's a kind of a dummy democracy to a great extent. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble after the local election. And so we spend a lot of time doing this at schools, but like using art to get people to understand this, you know, to get active citizenry. And the funny part when I walked in, like lead essay, like who actually leads essay? When I was throwing stones at Caspers in '85 at high school, the truth was that democracy is a government by the people, for the people. And if the politicians were afraid of the people, you wouldn't need a public protector because the public actually run the country with force and power and understanding. Maak ek sin? So the work that I do is based around this, but also creating products and sharing heritage. We did this documentary called Afrikaans about the history of the black history of the language Afrikaans. They still don't want to play it on SABC. Yeah. Oh, must I wrap up? I was rapping the whole time. Okay, yeah, so I'll do that. So this song is to get you into a Cape Flats, Cape Town vibe. Be very careful of thinking that we are just jovial, fun-loving people. Because they are deep thinkers. Some of them, Neville Alexander, the ones who educated the people on Robben Island. On this one, for those who don't understand Afrikaans, it's going to be in Afrikaans, sorry. And I want to teach you 2 words. Asia. Nou is julle vir paptyes. Asia. And Hoya. And for those who grew up on the Cape Flats, the chorus go, As a Cape Flats ding, Asia. A lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding, Hoya. Yeah? So when I say, so Asia, Hoya.
Asia.
Pat met mening, man. And?
Hoya.
Okay, you know, South Africa like free stuff. So I'm going to give away 2 free CDs. No, not for free, nie. Sy moet skree. You must be active, you must get involved. So, gaat sy I can watch?
Okay.
All right. And on this side over here, the people, we're going to give you a CD that was done just before the xenophobic attacks happened and the hip-hop community got together and did this album called Human. But niemand vir ons geluister nie, want julle is ook al malletjies met die mic. So, on the side, or you, the more politically communicating. So, watch. So the person who shouts and badaya with their hands, Asia and Hoya, is going to win that prize, all right? Okay, this is like a minute long. Speel maar een ambo, my bro. Asatja, klap julle hande.
Come on.
Avocado pere maak jy hare meer, kan julle nie sien nie?
Asia.
Let's try it over here.
Ek hou die op die
As a Cape Flats ding, a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding, ons kan nie worry nie, want ons gaat. Here we go. As a Cape Flats ding,
Hoppa.
a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding,
Hoya.
ons kan nie worry nie, want ons gaat weer. As a Cape Flats ding,
Hoppa.
a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding,
Hoya.
ons kan nie worry nie,
Asit.
want ons gaat
Lekker sê.
weer. Kykie, sy wen met jou rollers en swilkos in die mall, sê jou maak het aan 'n vriend. Sy wen met die piss and dip, jou after lunchtime Sunday nip. How quick you fall for the credit trip, jou kraansie papsak you have on tap. You talk for London in front of the boss, Afrikaans versyp en rakele bos. Met hy potjie kos, moet niemand moks. Die Cape Flats maak mos die beste kos. Hoe sy braai met hy boerewors, met potato en beans salad of course. Roasting en potato met geel rys, net putting tot ek klaar in die jay's waist. Maak 'n bootjie tot ek home with you, yo, wedding decorations to take it home to. Cape Flats ding, a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding,
Hoya.
ons kan nie worry nie,
Hoekom? Hoekom kan jy so worry
want
nie?
ons gaat weer.
Laat ons wou wen, dis so.
As a Cape Flats ding,
Asia.
a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding, ons kan nie worry nie,
Hoekom?
want ons gaat weer. One more time. As a Cape Flats ding,
Asia.
a lekker, lekker Cape Flats ding.
Hoya.
Julle is kwaai, man, ja. Did you decide? Okay. Die vrou haar met haar 2 vingers en nou haar 2. Hey, pas op vir hy 2 duime in die lug. Sy Kaapse vlakte. Vat dit gou daar vir die suster. Clap your hands for that sister for bedeiering.
Okay. Op die kante het ek so baie conservative Asia en Hoya gekry so. Maar ek het iemand dopgehou, hy sê, "Haas hy brother."
Lapilana baray manova sa
Asay.
bayadanki. Thank you very much. Peace and God bless.